second portion of the demos on the Workspace ONE UEM, the Unified Endpoint Management. We will be there a lot so that I've been giving you can peer out at one time, but from here what I will do is will be showing you the Workspace ONE UEM admin console. So this is a exercise. Basically what you need to do is log into the console, set up the PIN password, then we will basically play around the dashboard, multi-tenancy, role-based, and profile. So to device enrollment and your Workspace ONE sandbox. So we continue from there. So first time, just create your 4-digit PIN. So this is the console view for the Workspace ONE UEM. So as you can see, for the typical enterprise deployment, is definitely the more device you have, the more benefit you will see from here across all kind of the device. Like here you can see the dedicated company device have around 2,700, and then the share file device employee about 300 something, undefined 226. So from here, as a system administrator, from the device point of view, right, I can see for the total deployment for how many percentage is compromised, no passcode, no encrypted. This thing here may be some user group or the respective department maybe has some concern. So you can zoom in and drill out from there to see what is the device there from here. And then here is an aggregate view for the device seen in the last 1 day. And then the last scene breakdown. So you can see here for how many, like 3 days, for a week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and longer than 1 month is how many. And then the platform for the device, or we call it the endpoint, is like Android, Chrome OS, and then the iOS, the Mac OS, and then the Windows desktop here. And then for the how many device already enrolled is about, it means that you can be in direct controls. And enroll is still pending for how many, and then the pre-enroll registration record is how many, and then the breakdown for the, let's say like here is Apple iOS, for how many of the respective version. In particular useful when you want to phasing out certain version for the app support, right? You can base on here to do as a baseline considerations. Same go for my Android, what version on that. Other thing I just walk through so walk through for y'all. So the typically first thing to see is the monitor for overview. As a system administrator, right, you have a couple thousand of device. So what you need to do is to be managing from dashboard, because you cannot manage what you do not know what is going on. So this is a very useful for you to know respective of the device condition and stated. So you can see from here, and then the compliance valuation. Compliance you can set for your own policy. So the top valuation, and then device with the denied app, and then device without required app, all those thinking. And then for the profile, for the last profile version iOS, right, then and so on. And apps are like device without the latest app. They mean that they are still installed and they will update certain app version. So we can see from here like uh, which one in particular that would you for you to consider whether that you want to force update or whatever as a system administrator or whatever once they connect or whatever. So here you can see also most install enterprise app version, like here have mentioned on Horizon Client, Google Chrome, Workspace ONE Assist, 7-zip, etc., etc. Because this is all based on your actual use case and your real condition in your enterprise environment. The one without latest content versions, uh, and then for the email with the vibration, specific certificate that been expired for how many. So you can based on here to get the condition and then to making your management decision what to do next and then what kind of thing you should take actions. Here they have an additional thing like the report, list view, right? What kind of the particularly for the you want to know for the login history, user role, application detail, manage the certificate near expirations, and then content detail by device, count of active device, count active device by user, and then the deny list or not allows application detail by device, the battery, inventory, location, log, the security postures, the detail you can reading on the right, and then the device usage detail, and then the while log, and then the list go on. So you just need to pick whatever useful thing you need to show. For instance, right, application detail. So it will be export in the CSV format. So you can using it to create all kind of useful chart and then to formatting it for the all kind of reporting with the raw data we are talking about. And the device events. So you can see from here for all kind of the let's say like severity warning for what is going on the respective of the device, so that you can have a look into it and then to know and then to decide what you need to do with the severity category or modules that you want to be um, filtered accordingly. Because sometimes you have too many, then you need to filter to something you really want to see to filter them out accordingly. Like what kind of internal, public, and then for purchase apps, that all will be showing here. You can add in the catalog here as well for what you want to have a user can be used and purchase app. Let's say the company have been license for specific quantity of the device. You want to keep track for how many app being assigned accordingly, and then for what the internal apps or maybe some additional custom app that you want to control for the versioning. Then you upload the app, right? Plug in here the installer. Then you can control from there on that specific version. The respective different profile that for the cert for tunneling, all those things that you may want to serve baseline orchestrator, right? So that it is the no-code IT orchestration platform that giving you the ability to create a workflow for researcher for the app profile script and apply them to the device base or based on whatever criteria you have, so you can get started On the management, the system admin interface, you can also quickly to add the device, create a new profile, and then for the add the internet app and public app from here. So you may be provisioned for the you need to have a user create, then you can, then from here you basically will pick what device for what name. For instance, you can see from here, then you can pick the user. Let's say example, select the user, the name, and then whatever, and then you may want him to, let's say here, enroll into corporate own. So it means into the device for company own, and then then put the name easier to remember, and then to put under the group under day, because it's company, so you put is the dedicated or share and the employee owner. Then platform, it means you allow him to run on all the platform or only a specific platform. And then the message to sending the enrollment for them is through the email. If there is scenario, then message and then you save. Add a new profile. Another common task as a system administrator you will be expected. From here you will be select the platform for you to create a profile: Android, iOS, Mac OS, the TV OS, right? The window look, and then the window, and then the Android, as well as for the bigger C1, and then for the Linux to get started, internal applications. What you do is the first based on the organization group ID, and then you upload your internal app, choosing either is the local file or provide the link, and then to upload and save it into the applications. Public application, in this scenario, there is the let's say Windows desktop. You need to search from the App Store, then to using it, then or enter with the URL as a way for you for get that particular app and so on. One more feature to demonstrate, of course, is the uh, multi-tenancies. So you can create up to you according to your real actual working scenario, how you want to structure regionally or by country or whatever. The way is all those device and then the user, right, is will be porting over to be managed to accordingly. Role, the basic role: external access, full access. You actually on top you can create more role as per needed, because no respective company and way of managing is the same. Then the enrollment status will be given to know the current the device life cycle management. The status will be at the moment. So some dedicated or whatever here, group and setting. The group you can create the and the name group for specific need. So this is where we are using to managing for the multi-tenancy deployment within the organization. We need to create a group, then the existing group, and then the assign the device, right, into the what group, or maybe respective app allow denied according to what group, and then who is belong to admin group. So this is the how it will look like here is the structure hierarchy. I mentioned before, this is a multi-tenancy, right? So you can also have the list view, and then the administrator view, administrator grouped by role, device administrator, right? So, and then for the login history, for some company, for security access control, right? So you may want to know who is accessed at what specific time, right? The time lock. Or someone is invalid password, either is human or not human, right? So you usually will based on is that the repeat from the same or what, right? So you will know from here. Telecom, the dashboard view, the device with usage, you want to know for certain device, right, that can make call SMS, you want to know whether that it is in the normal scenario, while in the roaming stated, roaming, no roaming, and then the data usage.